Artyom was 34 years old, a simple factory worker with calloused hands and a small aging house on a quiet street. His life was modest, almost below average, but he never gave in to despair. He had a family, his wife Marina, and their 2 children, 8-year-old Alina and 5-year-old Sasha. Marina was a gentle soul, a housewife who never demanded the impossible. In 8 years of marriage, she had never asked for things they couldn't afford. Their life was calm. Maybe too calm. Like a river that moves slowly without storms, without excitement. No big arguments. No passion either. Just routine. Work, home, sleep, repeat. And yet, deep inside, Artyom carried a secret dream. He imagined a better life. A bigger house with a wide terrace. A small workshop where he could craft wood for himself instead of for a factory. And maybe, just maybe, the feeling that he had made it. He told himself, one day, I'll make it happen. Then came spring, and with spring came Lera, 17, light as a breeze, eyes the color of a summer sky after rain. She and her family moved into the house just 2 doors down. At first, Artyom only noticed her in passing. A cheerful girl with long hair, always smiling. She said hello to the neighbors with a voice as bright as sunlight. But day after day, something began to stir inside him. When he heard her laughter from across the street, it was like the first warm day after a long winter. His heart beat faster, and for a brief moment, he felt 17 again. Not a tired father with rough hands and unpaid bills. He found excuses to stay outside, fixing the gate that didn't really need fixing, smoking on the bench a little longer than usual. Every now and then, their eyes would meet. She would smile, a light, innocent smile, and he felt a spark he hadn't felt in years. And with that spark came the storm inside. At night, lying next to his sleeping wife, Artyom stared at the ceiling. Shame, guilt, and a sweet, aching longing he couldn't explain. What's happening to me? He whispered to himself. I have a family, children. I shouldn't. Marina sometimes turned in her sleep and touched his hand. She had no idea that her husband's heart was being torn apart in silence. Summer arrived, the street filled with the scent of blooming lilacs and fresh bread from the local bakery. Children played outside, and Lera, she seemed to live in her own world. Sometimes she sat on the old wooden swing near the abandoned sandbox, headphones in her ears, humming along to some song only she could hear. One evening, as Artyom was walking home from work, he saw her sitting there alone. When she noticed him, she waved and smiled. Hi, Artyom. I was waiting for you, she said playfully. His heart skipped a beat. Waiting for me? He asked, trying to sound casual. Well, you always pass by this way in the evening. I just knew I'd see you, she said, with an innocent grin. He sat down on the swing next to her. The sun was setting, painting the sky in gold and orange. For a moment, the world felt unreal. They didn't talk much. The only sounds were distant birds, the soft creak of the swing, and the beating of Artyom's heart. Then she said quietly, almost like a secret, You're different. I like talking to you. You're not like other adults. You feel kind. He froze. Those words cut deeper than a knife. For her, he was just a kind neighbor, a safe, trustworthy adult. But for him, she had become a forbidden dream. That night, Artyom couldn't sleep. He sat alone in the dark garage, listening to the rain tapping on the roof. A single light bulb flickered above him. On the workbench lay his old notebook, filled with sketches of the house he wanted to build one day. He opened it, stared for a long time, and whispered to himself, "What am I doing? I'm losing myself." And then came the night that broke him completely. He stepped outside to throw away the trash and saw a car stop near Lyra's house. A tall young guy got out, holding a bouquet of flowers. Lyra ran to him, laughing, and threw her arms around him. In that moment, Artyom's world went silent. His chest ached as if something inside had shattered. All his secret dreams, the dangerous spring in his heart, gone, just like that. He stood in the shadow of his yard, watching the rain drip from the roof, and for the first time in years, he cried. That night, he went to bed and pulled Marina into his arms. She stirred in half sleep. "Why are you hugging me so tight?" she whispered. "Because I love you," he said quietly. The next morning, he was different, tired, empty, but determined. At breakfast, he looked at his wife and kids like he was seeing them for the first time. He realized how close he had come to losing everything that truly mattered. He whispered to Marina, "Forgive me for being distant." From that day on, Artyom buried his secret. He stopped looking toward the neighbor's house. He threw himself into work and family. He cut out the part of himself that ached, because he knew it was the only way to survive. Autumn arrived. Golden leaves spun along the quiet street. One afternoon, Lyra passed by with her friends, laughing. Artyom was fixing the fence in his yard. For a brief second, their eyes met. She smiled, light, carefree, the way she always had. He nodded politely. No spark, no fire, just quiet. Inside, he felt an emptiness and peace at the same time, and the wind seemed to whisper, "Some loves stay forever, as silent wounds no one will ever see."